Hello, welcome back to class. So today's lesson, I'm going to be covering the 251 chord progression. It's a very lo-fi, chill kind of uh, chord progression. So the entire chord progression, so it's a 251 chord progression, revolves around those numbers. That's why it's called the 251 chord progression. So what do those numbers mean? 251. Well, they actually represent the bass notes of our chord progression. The bass notes are going to be 251. So what do I mean by that? So if I bring this diagram over here, you can see that this is our C major scale labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way to 7, up the scale. So 1 is for C, 2 is for D, 3 is for E, F is for 4, 5 is for G, 6 is for A, and then 7 is for B, and then it loops back to C. We can use this as our reference to build our 251 chord progression. So once again, I said that the bass line is going to be a 2, a 5, and a 1. And so if we look over here to our left, we can actually figure out where we can put our baseline. So it's going to be in the purple region. Remember over here, it sounds brighter, whereas down here is going to be our bass region. So we can start putting out 2, which is matching. If you look over here, our 2 is between the 2 black notes, and it's right there. So if we look over to our left, there's our 2 black notes, and that is going to be where our 2 is. So it's about checking where the position of the bass line is, because you want to make sure that the 251 is correct in terms of because it's really important. It's what gives the characteristic of this chord progression. So we have our 2 chord. So our 5 chord is between those 2 black notes. So if we look over to the left and then check on our chart, yep. So it's going to be this note. So if we move this along, so our next sequence is going to be our 5. So it's going to be our G note. As you can see, that's our 2, 5. And we need our 1 because that's going to be our resolution chord to build our chords. So we're going to be stacking notes on top, right? Like that. But not exactly like that, because we're going to doing it so that we make sure that we're building exactly 251. So you're going to have to follow along with what I'm doing. So there's going to be a little bit of memorizing. So bear with me on that part. It's just going to take a little bit of memorizing, but it's very basic. It's very basic. Yeah, and you'll start to recognize the pattern. So we start out in our 2 chord, and then we need to count 2 spaces. So 1, 2, and then place our notes like that. Our next section is 3 spaces. So 1, 2, 3. It's gonna alternate back to 2, and then 3. And that's our full chord for our minor 7th, 9th chord, which you don't really have to know the name of the chord, to be honest. Just know it's a really chill sounding chord. This is our first chord. Now, for the second chord, I'm gonna skip it for now. So we're gonna skip this and we're gonna go to the third chord. I'll tell you why, because the second chord is gonna be our tricky chord. Our last chord, our resolution chord, is a major chord, so it's gonna sound So it's going to be the opposite of this chord. So instead of 2, 3, 2, 3, it's going to be 3, 2, 3, 2. So count 3 spaces up, count 2 spaces up, count 3 spaces up, and then 2. So 3, 2, 3, 2. And it sounds like that. Bring all those voicings that we just made. So I selected it with Control, and then press Control, up. And now we've brought it into the higher range. So let's listen to what this sounds like. And you can hear that there's a missing chord. This chord is supposed to be our really, really tense, spicy chord that's gonna bring us back to here. And this is what I was yapping about earlier about the 2-5-1. How the 5th chord, 2-5, the 5 chord is gonna be our dominant chord, or our really diminished dominant chord. It's the same principle as building this. The pattern is 3, 2, 2, 2, like this. So 3, 2, 2, 2. So the reason why it's not 2, 3, 2, 3, so like this would be our normal major chord, but we have lowered it, which gives it that really tense sound, right? So if we play it, now obviously we have to move these up. So doing the same thing, pressing Control. And now we have a very smooth transition, because before it was like this, which sounded a little bit jarring. So we want to, the reason I move it up here is because if you look at the top note, this is smoothly gliding over to this note and then going to this note. And likewise, the same thing here. It's all linking up in a very smooth, and that's the thing about this chord progression. It's supposed to sound smooth, but also really, really spicy. So that's the entire characteristic of the 2-5-1 chord progression. So if we play what we've written so far, this is our finished chord progression. You might recognize it. It's used in a lot of bossa nova, jazz, a lot of Nintendo music. If it's like for example, shopping themes, or like a shop theme, or like that is basically 2-5-1. So to recap, so if I delete everything, so to recap, count 3, put one note, 2, and then alternate 3, 2. And then for our second chord, we go 3, and then we stack a bunch of 2s like that. And then for our last chord, a 1 chord, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2. Oh, actually, I think I made a mistake. The first chord, my bad, is not 3, starting with 3. It starts with 2. So 2, 3, 2, 3. Okay, so this is the correct chord progression. So make sure it's so I made the mistake of thinking it's 3. That's a very beginner mistake. I used to make that a lot when I was writing this chord progression. So it's starts with 2, 3, 2, 3, and then 3, stack a bunch of 2s on top, 3, 2, 3, 2. And if we want to brighten it up, we just select all of our notes in the middle, bring it up like that, and maybe bring this down so it's a little bit more Yeah, like this. So we want to make sure the notes glide down like this. That's one of the characteristics of 251. So make sure each note is gliding down. Yep, it looks like it. And there we go. That's our chord progression. And there's different ways to voice it. For example, you might want to sound it brighter like this. And this is a little bit of a bonus, but you can also change some of these notes. So you just have to play around which note works. That also works. So as long as it's smoothly gliding down each note. Another bonus thing you can do is you can copy this and it was transition. So it's kind of like a transition chord. If you're not confident with this, that's also okay. It's a very similar function to this chord, except it's just one voice away. So that's why it sounds really, really like you can hear it's like, oh, it's the one chord, but it sounds a little bit dissonant. And then that kind of pulls you back to our 2 chord. So I hope you learned something. If you made it this far, I'm I'm so thankful that you decided to listen to me yap about some more music theory. Uh, but yeah, I'll see you next time. Uh, thank you for listening.